Hey, this is Venger Satanis, and I had a few extra minutes today, so I thought I'd make a video. In my extra time, my wife brought over some stuff from the old house, including a box, basically just a box like this, that you saw in my last videos. I made like a dice roller. So I guess a couple of years ago, I had gotten or bought an even bigger box. I'll show you right here. So this is substantially larger, as you can see. So this is probably 12 inches by 12 inches, this new one. And I thought, oh, you know, I'll get out the wood burner since I had an extra half hour. And so this is sort of halfway through. I just used the wood burner to burn these symbols into it. And then I'm going to stain it a different color. And then I'm going to put like some black felt or something like that down. Maybe the inside edges too. Maybe just this. I don't know. And then I'll show that off when it's finished in a later video. Also made character sheets for the second session, which happened last night, which was quite awesome. I'll show you. I just did this on a just Microsoft Word document, but I did some little drawings of different symbols and things like that on the edge. Basically, I wanted to do a bunch of different things like normal D&D stuff like strength, dexterity, constitution, blah blah blah. And then fortune, which is what I call luck in Dungeon Crawl Classics, and motivation, armor class, hit points, you know. I did a whole thing for saving throws, background, history, personality, weapons and armor, magic and items and spells, etc. So, yeah, I kind of didn't want to fiddle around with some advanced program that I could download and then create my own things by moving stuff around. I just, you know, start a new document, open it up, and just, you know, start typing strength, dexterity, whatever, putting it in order. Use a fancy font, and then I printed it out, and then I just did some little drawings on it, on the top and on the side, where I had some extra space, and then I took it to Kinko's or whatever copy shop I went to, and instead of using just plain white paper, I used sort of like a parchment-y kind of tan yellow paper. Okay, so as I stated, the game went fantastic. It felt extra awesome. Being behind the screen, so to speak, even though currently I don't have a Game Master screen. But it felt good being, you know, the Dungeon Master again, or the Judge, or Guild Lord, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. So obviously I've got some rust on the old gears and parts and whatever. So, you know, I was thinking, you know, what do I need to work on? What do I need to improve on? And what strengths did I have like 3 years ago, and weaknesses and things like that. I don't know if you've ever played poker, but I'm a big poker player, and big part of playing poker is discovering and then plugging your leaks, the things that you're not so great at. Because if you don't do that, you're going to go broke. And while the consequences aren't that serious in running a game, you know, if you're consistently doing things crappy or less than awesome, you know, the game's going to suffer, and the players are going to notice, and maybe people won't leave the game, or, you know, maybe you guys will have just as much fun and things will carry on. But I don't know, for people like me, I'm just kind of a constant self-improver, and, you know, I read self-help books sometimes, and basically how to be a better whatever, you know, whatever you want to do, there's room to make progress, and that's how I live my life. Maybe some of you would want to get better, maybe not. But anyway, this is about me and my struggles, and how I'm going to get better. Bless you. That's the baby sneezing. So anyway, plugging leaks, and so each session I'm going to try to concentrate on something that I want to get better at. The first session last Saturday was staying in character. Like trying to role play, like not saying, well, you know, the wizard's henchman says that you guys should, you know, give up the wand or go to hell, something like that. Instead, I would for a second or two become the wizard's henchman, and I'd, you know, look at everybody and say, you need to give up that wand, because my master, he needs it, or else you guys are going to go to hell. You know, something like that. It's not very impressive, but it's keeping in with the spirit of the game, and the end result is it makes it more enjoyable, and other people reciprocate by role-playing back at you more often, you know, not every time, but more often than they otherwise would. You know, they kind of mirror what you do unconsciously. So, you know, you've got to be more on point role-playing than the players, ironically. And if, you know, if the Dungeon Master does it, then the players, more often than that, will follow suit. And that's, you know, that's what you want. So that was my first, you know, thing or aspect to focus on. And this time, just last night, it was describing combat, sort of blow by blow, like as I see it in my mind, or just trying to vividly describe it so people could see it in their head and fully imagine like what this battle is like as it takes place. Just describing like, you know, little, you know, flavor text pieces like, you know, you stab him in the neck and blood spurts out. In fact, I thought about, you know, when a player is about to attack someone, or, you know, a character is about to attack someone, like I asked them to describe like how they're going to do it or where they're aiming for. So if they do make contact based on the roll, the to hit roll and the damage, I can sort of, you know, sort of weave a story together. If you're using a dagger and you're aiming for the head or throat, upper torso region, and you score a critical hit, like maybe you stab them in the heart, or, you know, cut their throat and the blood spurts out and, you know, he falls dead in a pool of his own blood. You know, little things like that. So I wanted to focus on that, and I did, and it turned out really great, I think. There were a lot of points in the game where, you know, I tried to describe the combat and give, you know, some flavor to the scene, sort of describe how it happened. You know, when a player got damaged, you know, he took like a whopping, I don't know what it was, 11, 10, 12, something points of damage. That was more than half his hit points. So I talked about, or I told him that, you know, as he was being pummeled by this club, you know, the troll cracked one of his ribs with the club as he was beating him. Just things like that, you know, that's not necessarily is going to have a game impact. Whereas from now on, he gets a -1 on these kind of rolls. But it's just something to keep in mind, and it adds to the game, I think. And it could become a role-playing opportunity like down the road. And as I said before, if the Dungeon Master is doing it, some players will eventually follow suit to one degree or another. And that's always a good thing, I think. You know, it makes the game more real, makes it come alive. So the next section, I think I'm going to work on sort of conveying magic and divine power, I don't know, to the best of my ability. Better than I have been, or better than it could be. I'm just trying to concentrate on magic and the weird strangeness of it all, and the power, and that not only describing what they see and might smell and hear as magic is being performed or gods are being evoked, but I don't know, just trying to create that sense of wonder and excitement and mystery about magic that is a part of not only the old school gaming thing, but Dungeon Crawl Classics and, you know, I think regular old D&D or Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So if there's a particular aspect that you want to, I don't know, talk about in a comment or a video response or something like that, something you want to work on yourself, or you think other game masters or dungeon masters should work on more often than not, or something that you think that maybe I should work on, even though you don't know me and never game with me. I don't know, maybe you have a suggestion for me, which is totally cool. That's it, I think. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I'm titling this this video, "And the Portal Closes," because I like a lot of freedom and a lot of sandbox opportunity or whatever, but there comes to a point where the structure of the whole game is about to slide off, you know, the table, off the edge of the sandbox. And so there was a point like that last night. So I just said, you know, because they wanted to go back after doing some other stuff, go back to this portal, which would take them to, you know, I already described it, that takes people or objects to random places in the universe and separates them, and there's really no guarantee at all of getting back, and someone would have to bring something, throw something in, or push something into the portal in order to get something back. It would totally have destroyed the whole game in reality. So when they did some other stuff and went adventuring in some other caves and then came back, I'm like, you know, it's gone. You know, the portal closed. So the thing that you wanted to try, which is to everybody go through and scatter throughout the universe and probably never get back and create like 1,000 times more difficulty for me, that's gone now, that opportunity. The portal closed. Sorry, you'll have to, you know, go through the rest of the dungeon as planned. And sometimes that's definitely okay. Sometimes the dungeon master has to do that. He has to put his foot down. But at the same time, you know, freedom is an awesome part of the game, and, you know, players and characters should be allowed to do what they want, you know, within the confines of the campaign world and the dungeon master's story. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, Cthulhu Fatagan.